South Africa's parliament has cancelled all arrangements for accommodation and flights for the MK party elected MPs. This follows the party's decision not to attend the first sitting. Parliament spokesperson Moloto Motabo said this was done to avoid incurring fruitless and wasteful expenditure. The MK party intends to challenge the validity of the election results. We're now joined by Dr. Mechi Mahoba, independent political analyst who is also a senior lecturer at the University of Limpopo, to help us analyze the latest development in South Africa's politics. Doctor, good evening. Now, Parliament has cancelled arrangements for accommodation and flights for the Umkhonto we Sizwe elected members, saying that it is to avoid incurring wasteful expenditure. What is the likely implication of this development?
Elections have been rigged. There have been so many election irregularities, and they don't recognize the outcomes of the elections. Their argument is that they should have won, but given that the results have already been announced as official, the chances are Parliament is going to continue, and the only thing that the MK can do at the moment is to head to court, and I think that is the only thing that is going to strengthen their position. But at the moment, the position, it's not strong because it's just based on hearsay. And if they have the evidence that the elections had issues, then it's something that should be tested in the courts, and that's where their position that the elections have been rigged can be strengthened.
Now, the MK party says it will file papers with the Concord to interdict the swearing in of MPs. Does their case have any merit?
I think given what they've said, I think the rigging of elections is a serious concern. And if the MK says the elections have been rigged and they are able to demonstrate that to the courts, and I think that is going to be a very big headache for the country, because people have made their mark. They want the country to move forward. But if there are any issues with the elections, we live in a democratic society, so everybody has the right to approach the court and test the validity of the outcome of the elections. And the most important thing with this matter is that the MK should produce the evidence. They've been speaking on social media, Twitter and Facebook, but people have been asking for evidence. And I think if they take this opportunity, approach the court, since this is a democratic society, and show us the evidence, maybe people will be able to listen and take them very seriously.
So now the ANC has proposed a GNU, but it appears it is torn between two extremes, far right and far left. Which is likely the likely outcome from these negotiations?
I think the negotiations have put the ANC between a rock and a hard place. Here are the reasons. Firstly, the ANC would have logically wanted to work with the DA because they are both a neoliberal alliance. The ANC is a neoliberal party. In South Africa, they have abandoned all left-wing politics, all sort of black radicalism that you can think of. It has been abandoned by the ANC. They've actually turned to the right. However, members of the ANC are skeptical about the DA because they see the DA as a racist political party, and there've been evidence supporting this logic, because there've been cases where the former leader of the DA, Mmusi Maimane, was called a failed experiment. And at the moment, so they sort of have IFP and the EFF and the MK as sort of potential people they could work with. But the challenge is the MK and the EFF do not want to work with Ramaphosa. Zuma had said that he has the issue with the ANC of Ramaphosa, and the EFF has also made it clear that they do not want to work with Ramaphosa. So the challenge is that now the ANC is open to work with these organizations, but they come with conditions. And I think with this issue, we see some level of democratic pluralism in which the ANC will struggle to find a partner because of those ideological positioning and reasons.
Now, before we let you go, a new administration will have to be in place by the 16th of June when MPs are expected to be sworn in. Will these parties meet the deadline?
I think given what we've seen in our local government structures, I think they are likely going to meet the deadline. We have seen the EFF and the ANC and the DA working together in Gauteng, in a PEE as well. So we have a history of working in coalitions and things going well. I think the history or our background or experience do tell us that they'll be able to meet the deadline unless the MK is serious about interdicting the first sitting, and that's where there are going to be challenges, because part of being a democratic society is that everybody who feels that they have the right and the evidence to approach court, they will do it. But historically, the first sitting is likely going to be constituted without many issues, because all these political parties know that in the end of the day, they have to work for the people of South Africa.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Dr. Meshi Makgoba from Limpopo joining us for those insights happening in South Africa. News Plus, we'll be right back after this.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.